The rapture. In some parts of Christianity, this is still one of the most important concepts. The old saying goes, "This world is not my home, I'm just passing through." But is that true? Are we simply stuck here until something apocalyptic occurs, such as the second coming of Christ, the rise of the Antichrist, or the rapture? Of course, this belief is frequently associated with something known as the Great Tribulation. So what did Paul say about rapture? 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verses 15 to 17 contains the famous rapture passage. "We tell you, according to the Lord's word, that those of us who are still alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, will not certainly precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a loud command, the voice of the archangel, and the sound of God's trumpet, and the dead in Christ will rise first. After that, we who are still alive and remain will be caught up in the clouds with them to meet the Lord in the air. As a result, we will spend eternity with the Lord." When read in the context of the chapter, this passage answers questions about the death that Christians in Thessalonica had. What happened to our loved ones who died before Christ returned to earth? What is our and their ultimate fate? In 1 Corinthians 15 and Romans 8, Paul gave his response, bodily resurrection at Christ's return to earth. There will be no escape into the sky. And what did Jesus say about the rapture? With the interpretation of 1 Thessalonians 4, many Christians approach Jesus' famous Olivet Discourse and believe it teaches the rapture as well. It's not. In fact, this interpretation is diametrically opposed to Jesus' historical context. Jesus lived during a period when the Roman Empire was at its peak. Many Jews at the time, particularly zealous Jews who believed a militaristic Messiah was on the way, desired to be free of Roman oppression and control. In such a volatile situation, can you imagine the subversive power of Jesus' statement to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, as it is mentioned in Matthew 5? Jews had a lot of enemies. Not only were there factions within the Judean ranks, but Roman soldiers made their presence known every day. It stands to reason, then, that the Messiah no one expected would be a teacher of the law who advocated for the love of enemies rather than their annihilation. When most people expected a Messiah who could wield a sword with the best of them, Jesus says, "Put away your sword." So it makes perfect sense for Jesus to speak directly about the tension that everyone felt in the first century. However, Jesus did not have a vision of escape, at least not from the planet. In fact, Jesus would not have understood the concept of rapture, resurrection on this planet, like Paul, fit within his broad framework. That is the goal, not the destruction of this planet in exchange for a new home in heaven. I believe the ultimate reason for Christ's return is to resurrect, purge, heal, and eternally reign in the renewed creation. The rapture is simply not mentioned in the Bible, and it frequently leads to problems today, such as a desire for escapism, and at times, a lack of concern for the planet. In another place, Jesus weeps for Jerusalem because their zealous impulses will lead to the destruction of God's holy city and temple. This is not something Jesus desires. It is, however, something he knows will happen. For Jesus, this will eventually happen when the temple is destroyed, because it will be the moment when Jesus becomes the only temple of God left in the universe. This new world will be our home for all eternity, and we have the opportunity to reflect on that future in our present. The rapture invites us to leave this world, the very last thing Jesus would have taught. He said, "On earth as in heaven, not in heaven away from the earth." The future of our planet is bright. Because Paul and Jesus did not believe in the rapture, no other New Testament author or figure did either, and you shouldn't either. So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more of our incredible videos. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.